Hi, we're Lisa and Angie. Welcome to another episode of Pep Talks and Prosecco.
If you like what you see and hear, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram and share with your friends and family. We are all about building community.
Cheers!
Cheers! Cheers! Cheers! Welcome back.
So good. So good.
So today we're talking about mom guilt. But before we do, I think we need to do a little bit of a disclaimer.
I agree.
There is no judgment here. We, of all people, would never judge anyone for how they parent their children. So let's just get that out of the way, first of all. And why I wanted to say that, or why we feel like we need to have a little bit of a disclaimer, is because we're going to talk about putting ourselves first today. And when we say that, we are in no way suggesting that any one of us wouldn't lay our lives on the line for the safety of our children and the betterment of our children. That's certainly not what we're suggesting. But we are maybe going to make ourselves feel a little bit uncomfortable when we talk about mom guilt and how that actually can keep us stuck when we use our children as maybe an excuse or a reason for not working toward building our best life.
Right. And I think the other thing we need to mention as well is, let's just put it out there. Kids can be the most masterful manipulators on the planet. And so whether you have an adult child like Lisa has, right? Or if you have some smaller ones like I have in my house, mom guilt is there forever and ever.
Absolutely it is.
Honestly. So when I think of mom guilt, oh my goodness, I don't think a day has gone by since I became a mom that it hasn't been part of a thought process that I've gone through. And I'll be completely honest, and I've spoken to my husband about this several times, that I do feel like for the whole decade of my 30s, I got very comfortable with the notion of mom guilt. And I used my own kids as, an opportunity almost to not take some risks and do things that were just about me for Angie. And I finally clued in. I can't even tell you exactly what the pivoting point was for that, but I finally clued in, and it really is about, I can't be my best for others if I'm not my best for me. And that doesn't mean that I'm not doing things for my kids and spending time with my kids, but it does mean that I'm very intentional about protecting my own physical health, my emotional health, my mental health, my spiritual health, because for me to be fueled that way, I can be a much better mom for my kids. And, you know, there is a saying that says you cannot pour from an empty cup. And I truly believe that. So how about for you, Lisa?
It is so true. And I guess for me, I became a mom quite young. And so very early on, I needed to decide that I couldn't allow my son, my amazing son, who brought me so much joy, to get in the way of the dreams that I had for myself. And I mean, I've made some choices in my life as a parent that I look back now and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I did that. I moved at 23 years old with my 5-year-old son to Toronto, just the two of us, to pursue a dream. And I look back now and I think, what was I thinking? But what I always come back to, and what I have for quite a long time now, is, what am I modeling for my son? And how would he describe me? And I would hope that based on what I've done in his 27 years is show him the importance of being brave, show him the importance of going after your dreams. And I hope that he would say that she's somebody who's living her best life. And you know, so for me, I think about that a lot. Well, how would he describe me? And he's not home anymore. I don't have those day-to-day responsibilities that I had, of course, when he was little. And I'm glad that I continue to focus on figuring out who I was outside of being a mom, so that I still had those things in my life when he left home.
Yeah, I really think if you can apply that lens of how is it that we want our children to think of us?
Mm-hmm.
How can we model for them to be a positive, contributing member of a community and of a society? And one of the best ways that we can do that is if they see us firsthand demonstrating,
Yes.
having the strength to fail,
Mm-hmm.
having the courage to fail, having the ability to make sacrifices for the better good. And it's a work in progress for me still, but I have started that work, and it's really hard work because, like I said earlier, like I love my kids.
Yes.
I love my kids to death.
Yes.
But they have some pretty refined skills
Mm-hmm.
on implementing some seeds of guilt. And I think most of it is really that they're doing it subconsciously. They don't understand
Right.
they're doing it. But I have a choice of what I do with that information and how I move forward. And don't worry, they still con me into stuff all the time.
All
And
the time.
sometimes I need a healthy dose of their feedback and their guilt as well. I mean, I had a conversation with my son who's 8 not that long ago. And he made a comment about me not getting mad at him for a day. Because through his eyes, he saw me getting mad at him every single day.
Wow.
And I looked back and going, I don't feel like I'm getting mad at him every single day, but his interpretation was that I was. So then, that's a healthy bit of criticism and critique from him as well. It didn't mean that I stopped having expectations,
right?
But I have to say it has made me think about when I'm requesting things from him, maybe I just need to reword it or rephrase it, or I need to ask in a different way so that his perception isn't that it's just mom like losing her noodle and freaking out all the time, but that she has a request and I have a responsibility to respond as opposed to mom getting angry. So I'm not lowering my expectations, but I am taking the feedback that he gave me to make some changes in my parenting as well.
Absolutely. I heard someone say not too long ago when they were talking about mom guilt, and it's kind of a controversial statement, but your children aren't the center of your world. You are. We are the center of our world. And while I don't know that I could love anyone more fiercely than I do my own child, it's interesting to think about, or it's pretty powerful to think about. But I need to be the very best version of myself in order to be the best mom for him. So think about that, and whether we're using our children as kind of maybe an excuse for not living our best lives, or are they helping us to live our best life?
And you owe it to your kids for
100%.
You to live a full life, for you to seek happiness, for you to have joy, for you to experience achievements and successes.
Yes. My biggest nightmare is my son feeling sad for moving away because he's worried about what my life will be like once he's not around every single day. That was my biggest nightmare. And so I hope he sees that, I'm still living my best life, even though I do miss him terribly and wish he hadn't moved to another province. But we're so much more. We're so much more than that important role of mom. There's so much more to us.
Cheers to moms.
Cheers to mom.
And cheers to you.
Have a great Sunday.